Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to League Racing TV here for the season finale. Is round number 11 of season 9 in the TML Formula 2 Championship. My name is Ira Mike. I'm going to be taking you through the action here. Unfortunately, no James alongside with me, as he's had a late call up to jump on and do tier 1 of WOR on the console side of things. So he's had to dip out, but season finale, obviously the championship last time out has been decided. It is Jelle Gleeson that picks up the Drivers' Championship. The question is, who will pick up the Constructors' Championship, as I believe that is still up for grabs. As I'll quickly get the standings and everything up, and hopefully everything all goes swimmingly. I have been having a few issues with my internet as of late, so we hope that it'll all stay good. Let's hope that. As we got Yaham, who's actually going to take us on a flying lap here of the Bahrain International Circuit, breaking down in towards turn number 1. Big old lock up on the front there as we go through turn 2 and 3. DRS wide open on the rundown in towards turn number 4. Breaking down 4th gear, the gear of choice there for Yaham, and now into turns 5, 6 and 7, where we saw the Mercedes battle many years ago. Now breaking down into the hairpin of turn 8, all about traction out of this corner as you come to the infamous turn 9 and turn 10, where those running without ABS will struggle here tonight, because you can easily lock up there. Now DRS wide open on the rundown in towards turn number 11, 5th gear, kissing the inside curb as we climb up the hill through turns 12 and now into turn 13, clipping the inside curb there for Yaham, but on the back straight now, running down to the penultimate corner, turn 14 and 15, a little kink here of 15 now to the line, and Yaham will cross it, and he's going to set the initial pace. It's going to be a 1:28.2. As we go on board with our champion just to see what he's going to do, and it's going to be a 0.5. I'm going to leave you guys on board with Powdy for just a moment while I quickly go and grab my phone so I can get the constructor standings up, just so I can see what we're looking at for this race. Okay, well, I am back and I've got my phone. I've got the constructor standings up here, and I can't lie, it's looking like it's Williams that's going to be taking the constructors. I mean, it's still mathematically possible for Mercedes to win it, but it's going to be Herculean for them to actually pull it off. I mean, we're talking about a maximum points accumulation in this race of as yeah, a comment actually just come through now that I didn't even clock, but yeah, as the comment just said, Constructors officially won as well with Siege in his absence. It was pretty much all wrapped up anyway. Maximum points that you could get was 56 points, and I believe the gap is 53. Yeah, it's 53, so it was already wrapped up, well, pretty much wrapped up. It was signed, sealed, delivered, but it just hadn't had the dotted lines, you know, you haven't crossed the T's and done all that yet, but now it is officially done. So, anticlimactic, but Williams are the Constructors champions. Takes all the fun out of it, doesn't it? No, you are correct. Siege is the regular driver in the Mercedes. I believe Elmo is coming in as a reserve tonight. So with Siege not here, Constructors is one. Unless reserve points count, so Constructors points. I mean, if it does, then technically it's still on, but I'm not 100% sure. As we got the Formula 2 champion in Jelle Gleeson out on track now. So we'll see if he can get himself onto the front row. The big battles going in tonight are the battle for second place in the drivers between Dan and Charlie. Just 9 points separating them. So second up for grabs. We've got a lovely freeway scrap going on for fourth between Legend, Siege, who is not here, and Powdy. Only 9 points separating those three drivers. Dylan not here gives Yaham a chance to jump up into seventh, so we'll see if he can do it. But apart from that, everyone kind of a little bit spread out. But on board with Jelle Gleeson now as he runs down in towards turn number one. Has a bit of traffic ahead of him, who gets out of the way on the entry into turn one. As Charlie is in the chat saying prediction, who is going to get running up in the championship, me or Dan? Feel like Dan will just have enough points. I think that is... I honestly, I can't lie, considering the gap is 9 points, you need Dan to have another nightmare race. Now, he had one in Monza, he had one in Brazil. Will he have another one here tonight? Will it be 3 times the charm? That's the question. But Jelle Gleeson now in the heart of the middle sector, coming up towards turn number 11. We have a big old lag spike there, and that is not what we like to see this early on in qualifying. Jelle Gleeson now approaching the final 2 corners, and we'll see what he can do as he crosses the line. Is it going to be an improvement? And he does improve, gets himself up onto the front row, splitting the 2 McLarens. We got Dan 3, almost 4 tenths up on his time. He's looking to get himself up there as well. Can he get himself ahead of Jelle Gleeson or even Yaham here as he comes towards the line? What can LRE Dan do? And he goes on provisional pole with a 28.2. Charlie on an outlap at the moment. We got Legend coming to the line. Preb improves and gets himself up into P6. Legend improves but doesn't climb any positions. Sygate marginally up in the first sector. DRS wide open for the AlphaTauri as he runs down in towards turn number 11. We'll see what Cygate can do. Four tenths up in the middle sector. He needs to find an extra tenth, at least in this final sector. Can he do that? Cygate now to the final two corners. Turn 14, a little kink at turn 15. To the line now comes Cygate. Is he going to be into the 28s? No, he just misses out. He loses a bit of time actually in the final sector. So Cygate, they're struggling. Charlie, what can he do? He's in the first sector. And he is a 10th up. Remember, Charlie set his previous lap on the set of the medium compound tyres, so a 29 flat on mediums. He's definitely looking for a big improvement here on the Red Bull soft tyres as we go in towards turn number 10. Second gear, good on the traction on the exit of turn number 10 there as Charlie runs down in towards turn number 11. This is where we're going to see, oh, and he's lost it. He's lost it through turn 11. We saw him have a little bit of a snap. I wish I was about to comment on a little bit of a snap there, but loses the car and loses his front wing. Charlie around and around he goes like a merry-go-round. Yaham slightly down on his time. Can he find anything in the final sector to retake provisional pole position? Fourth gear through the final two corners and he's lost it on exit. Yaham unable to get himself up there. So we're seeing mistakes creep in here in qualifying. We saw Charlie lose it here through turn number 11 and we saw Yaham lose it in the final corner. Roygaard going around, he's doing some laps, he's just trying to acclimatise to the circuit. So Roygaard, I don't think has put a huge amount of practice in if he's just going around doing laps right now. As Dan and Jelle Gleeson are the first two out on track for their final runs. Jelle Gleeson will be the first man to set a lap, so we'll stay on board with him as he gets us underway for the final lap of the session for Jelle Gleeson. Runs down in towards turn number 1. On this 5.4 kilometer circuit, can Jelle Gleeson find time here? Through turn number 4, let's have a look at this first sector split as we got Dan who's just beginning his lap. Oh, he's 800, so a second up on sector 1. Jelle Gleeson, can he get himself on pole position here? Through turn number 11, a little bit of a snap there as you just saw Dow Miles has left the session. He is marginally up, this is enough to get him on provisional pole. but Dan on a lap in behind. If Dan's improving as well, Dan will be taking that right back as we go through the final 2 corners now for Jelle Gleeson. Di Miles has rejoined the session, and Jelle Gleeson now to the line. Going to put it on provisional pole, and now we'll see what Dan can do to respond. Dan, 2 attempts up. Are we going to see a 28 flat here in qualifying? Are we going to see a 27? That's the question, as Dan through the final 2 corners. DRS wide open now to the line. And Dan, he's done a 28 flat, and he almost broke into the 27s there. Yaham out there warming his tyres up. Have we got anyone on a lap? Preb is on a lap. We've got anyone further along on a lap though? I believe Preb might be the next man. Yep, he is. So we'll stay on board with Preb. Half a tenth up in sector 1 for OWR Preb. So he tries to get on the traction and out of turn 10. A little bit of a squirrely exit, but it is to be expected through that corner. Preb, what is the middle sector saying for the Red Bull driver? And he's lost a lot of time in the middle sector, and I think that's his lap over and done with. As the checker flag is out, yep, Preb will peel off into the pits. As we got Charlie through turn 11 this time around. Nearly 7 tenths up. Sygate up ahead of him, who we saw spin through turn 11. So Sygate will be in the pits and retiring from the session, that's for sure. But Charlie to the line, what can he do? And he goes up into 3rd with a 28.2. Yaham unable to improve. Powdy's invalidated. Legend though, purple in the middle sector for Legend. And Roygard improves up into P8. But can Legend get himself up the order? He improves by 2 tenths but doesn't get any higher on the grid. It's P6 for Legend. And that is going to bring an end to qualifying here. Dan takes the final pole position of the season with a 1:28.005. And we'll run you through the order one more time. It is LRE Dan taking pole position here with a 28 flat, over a tenth ahead of Jelle Gleeson, who has decided to don the Welsh flag for this evening. Hopefully it goes better for him than it does for me around this track, so I usually spin it around here. But Jelle Gleeson on the front row, Charlie in 3rd with Yaham joining them on the 2nd row in 4th. Powdy in 5th, Legend in 6th, Preb in 7th, Roygard in 8th, Sygate 9th, Elmo rounded out the top 10, then you got Di Miles who didn't get a lap on the board, and Maximum Attack who was disqualified from the session. As we wait to see what tyres everyone will be opting for. Strategy around here. Relatively simple, medium hard or hard medium. Softs generally drop off way too quick around this track, so I don't expect to see softs come into play at all, but you never know. Some people may be thinking that they could stretch a set of mediums out long enough, or maybe stretch a set of hards out to the softs, but you lose way too much time by doing that. As we have 10 seconds until everyone has fixed all their strategies and their fuel loads, and we wait for those 5 red lights. And here they come now. 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway for the season finale here in TML F2 for season 9. And Dan has had a horrible start as he has been overtaken by both Yellow and Charlie. But Charlie goes off track. Needs to be careful about rejoining, and he does rejoin down in 5th place. In fact, he's going to drop even further behind as there's lag going on all over the place for me. As Charlie will rejoin down in 8th place actually. There is the tyre selection. Maximum Attack has just lost his car as he's around on the set of mediums, but majority of the grid going for a set of the hard compound tyres. We got 4 on the set of the mediums as Legend, Roygard, Cygate and Maximum Attack, and Die Miles going for a set of the soft compound tyre. As Charlie all over the back of Cygate, looking to make up for the early mistake in terms of going wide. He's looking down the inside into turn 11. Needs to be careful, and this is going to be so close as Charlie does back out there. Keep you updated as best as I can as Legend draws alongside, and he's going to move up into P4 as Dan all over the back of Yellow Gleason for the race lead. Charlie getting through on Cygate in behind. Charlie needs to get within that 1 second of the cars ahead, otherwise he is just going to lose touch with these guys up ahead of him. And he's just about done enough to get himself in it. So Charlie now back within a second. Die Miles has gone around through turn 4. As the race has settled down, and Yellow Gleason, fantastic start from him. Dan had an absolute nightmare start and losing out to both Yellow Gleason and Charlie off the line, but Charlie making his mistake, going too deep into turn 1. Means that Dan hasn't lost out massively now. Yaham currently in P3, sitting quite comfortably, but he does have a Legend on a set of mediums in behind him. Die Miles has left the session, so the Welshman not too happy with this track, and to be honest, I can relate. I struggle here as well. As now DRS has been activated, so we shall see these guys close up to the back of Yellow Gleason. But I can't lie, Legend is looking like he's shaping up to try and get himself past Yaham here for P3. Yaham gets a little bit out of shape. Will Legend have a little peek down the inside? He does. He goes for a little bit of a late lunge down the inside, side by side, but he can't get the traction he needs, and Roygard has a little peek at him now, but now Yaham is out of DRS range. That is big, because now Yaham does not get that benefit of the rear wing, and he's going to lose a bit of time to the guys ahead. Yaham needs to get himself back within 1 second here. He can't drop away from these two this early on. And he's using his ERS, he's using everything he can to get back within that 1 second, but is it going to be enough? I don't think it is. I think he's just outside it. So he's not going to have the benefit of DRS down this back straight, down the main straight, as Yelagisen sets a new fastest lap. Dan is going to close in, but he's not going to be close enough. Yarham, though, has used enough ERS to get himself back within a second. Roygod on the back of his teammate for P4. Charlie there now on the back of the two Alpines. As Charlie tries to close up to the back of Roygod, and definitely looks like he has the pace to maybe get past Roygod here, but it's all about opportunity. When does opportunity strike for Charlie? Back up the front, Yelagisen doing better on his ERS at the moment than Dan, but Dan does have DRS, so he can sit in behind and save a little bit up, but I don't think Dan wants to do that. I think he wants to get past this Williams, and so he uses a little bit of battery on the exit of turn 13. As Legend sets the new fastest lap, Dan closing in. He's going to move to the inside. Down the inside will go LRE. Dan, is he going to be able to pull this off? Yes, he does. Yarham's in the mix right in behind as well. But it doesn't look like either of them have DRS, so Dan is going to be safe for the time being. But now, Yelagisen in behind, and he's going to be looking to try and shape up and move pretty sharpish, I think, with the amount of battery that he has compared to Dan. But Dan looks like he has the pace at this track. As you can see, he is pulling away from Yelagisen. Lap 5 of 29, it is Dan that leads the way by 7/10 of a second, but Yelagisen will close in with DRS. Yarham all over the back of Yelagisen, so Yarham, will he be looking to try and make a move here? He thinks better of it right there, as I think now Dan is probably going to be safe from Yelagisen with DRS down in towards turn 1. As Yarham gets a little bit out of shape, and that will give Yelagisen gets a little bit out of shape. That'll give Yarham a little bit of encouragement here. As Roygod goes through on his teammate, and the Alpines switch around, and that's a fantastic run through turns 1 and 2 for Yelagisen. He's brought that gap down massively, but won't be close enough to Dan, so Dan will be able to hold himself out in the lead by half a second. Yarham getting a little bit onto the curb there, and that's going to unsettle him, but he is looking like he does want to try and get past Yelagisen. It's a question. Oh my god, it's Yarham's actually, he's gone off track. Where has Yarham gone to there? I think Yarham might have gone off the way with the amount that he went off track here. Charlie on the back of Legend for P5 as well. Charlie does need to get this move done, because he does need to be as close to the top 3 as possible, as he is going to use his battery. He is going to close in. There's the flashing red light that he wants to see, as Legend will defend the inside. Charlie's going to have to hang it around the outside. A little bit of wheel to wheel contact. Charlie's going to have the better traction and he's going to get that move done. Powdy is sitting in behind. Charlie now on the back of Roygard. We still got the top three holding the gaps that they have to each other. It looks like Dan is quick throughout the lap, apart from the first two corners where Yelagison seems to have it his number. As we got Maximum Attack going around once again here, and he's going to be almost a lap down, 7 laps into the race. As no one is looking like they're going to be making any moves anytime soon. Charlie needs to save up a bit of battery. And I think that's his aim, to save up a bit of ERS battery here, because he does need to get past Roygard, but he needs to use it. He needs to get past smartly. He needs to use his ERS at the right time. As we've got the yellow flag of Maximum Attack getting out of the way. Yaham all over the back of Yelagison for P2 here. Oh, it's like a big lag spike here. Riding on board with Yaham, so I'm going to go back to broadcast camera. It's a little bit more appealing, but Yaham all over the back of Yelagison. He's got to be thinking about a move into turn 1 this time round. He's so close to the back of that Williams in front of him. And he's not going for it again. He's having a little peek down the inside, but he's not going for it. He's not committing to it, and because he's not committing to it, it's giving Yelagison just a little bit of breathing space. Maximum Attack retires out of the session. I'll see a lap down within 10 laps, not the race he was looking for. Meanwhile, you can see Yelagison, he just can't keep up with Dan for the entirety of a lap, other than turns 1 and 2. That's where he's gaining his time. That's how he's keeping with Dan here. As we got Yaham still on the back of Yelagison. No one's close enough to make a move as of yet. Dan gets that gap up to 9/10 of a second, so Dan is absolutely flying here. As Yaham drops back a little bit, as we got Elmo getting through on Sidegate for P8. I'll tell you what, it doesn't look like Charlie is catching Roigard anything. It looks like Roigard's actually closed in on Yaham more than anything, but Roigard, no battery to his name. Charlie has managed to save himself up around about 30% of his ERS, so Charlie doing a good job in saving his battery up. Now we're going to see if Charlie's going to try and get past Roigard now soon, as he is beginning to use a bit of that battery. The tyres on those medium compound are starting to wear, so he does need to get past now if he wants to stick within this top pack. And he is going to use his battery. He's going to pull alongside and he's going to go clear, and he's going to move himself up into P4. But he is going to be outside that 1 second window, and he's just creeps himself back in, but he will have it all to do in this middle sector now to keep with these guys. Well, you got Powdy on the back of Legend here for P6, and Powdy, he's just been going about his business. He's not been very prominent so far in the opening 11 laps, but he is just sat there on the back of this train. He's just doing what he needs to do right now. But with Legend slowly losing touch with his teammate, Powdy, this is his opportunity to get through and up into P6. Meanwhile, once again, Yelagisen, he just can't get close to Dan. Around a lap of Bahrain, like if he can get close enough through the middle sector, if he can just be a tenth closer to Dan, the exit of turns 1 and 2 is where he's gaining his time. Look at the run. Look at the run that he gets by it. He gets the gap down to around 2 to 3 tenths, and then over the course of the lap it builds back up to around 8 tenths. So as long as he can get like a tenth or two, if he can stay within 6 tenths of Dan over the course of the lap, he should have enough of a run out of turn 1 and 2 to get the job done at turn 4. As Legend has peeled off into the pits, he's come out with a fresh set of the hard compound tyres. A bit of fresh air now for the Alpine, as he is 10 seconds off the back of Preb, who is down in 9th place. Now this could be what Jurgensen needs. About 6 tenths, and he loses almost a tenth there through turn 13, but he is going to gain a bit back, and it's going to be around half a second back from Dan as we start lap 13. Now the run out of turns 1 and 2, let's have a look here. Gap is down, but Yelagsen's not going for a move. Yelagsen actually backed out of going for a move there. He could have had a little look down the inside, but he shut off his DRS and said, nah, I'm good. As Yaham currently It looks like Johan does have the pace to get past Yergisen. He just needs to commit. Use a bit of battery down that main straight and just try and get that move done. Because it definitely looks like Johan does have the pace on Yergisen here. Gap is 2 tenths between Yergisen and Johan. All he needs to do is use a bit of battery now down this main straight, and he should. He needs to use a bit more than that if he wants to try and get past Yergisen. Oh, as he gets a big snap on the exit of turn 2, and now he is falling back to the clutches of Charlie now for P3. Top 4 battling it out. You've got Roygard, who has managed to come out ahead of Legend. Sygate in the pits as well, making his pit stop under the set of the hard. So 8.6 is the gap from Roygard to Preb. The top 4 still very close together on track. Lap 14 of 29. Dan still leads the way. Yergisen is getting closer and closer to him though. Johan looks like he's got the pace to get past Yergisen, but he's not willing to use a bit of battery to get the job done into turn 1. And of course we've got Charlie after his early sightseeing, let's say, through turn 1 and 2. He is back on the back of the top 3 in the DRS train, and Charlie, he's not going to be too concerned about being patient. He'll probably want to try and get past Johan at the very first opportunity, so Johan needs to get a move on, I think. Here we go now. Yergisen closing in. Not close enough to get a move done on Dan. It doesn't look like Dan is really using any ERS either. Through this middle sector, Dan is finding the time on Yergisen to hold him back, to hold him away. Lap 15 of 29. Dan still leads the way, 6 tenths the gap. Johan in third, just under 3 tenths behind Yergisen, and he is using a bit of battery, and he's going to peel off into the pits. An early call for Johan to bail out, and this could be a race winning strategy here. We're going to see where he comes out relative to Roygard and Legend, because that will be key. He's already out of the pit box, and he's on a set of the yellow wool medium compound of tyres, as Preb is also into the pit, so he's not going to get held up by Preb, and Johan is out. Now the undercut has to work for Johan here. So we're going to look at that gap. That gap is 23 seconds between Dan and Johan. So we're going to see what will happen over the course of this lap. As you can see in the first sector, he is losing out time as those tyres warm up. As it looks like Preb has warmed up his tyres in another fashion, because he's gone around and he has spun it. gap is 23.3, 23.2 now, as the tyre should come into temperature through the final sector, so Yaham is going to be gaining time through the final couple of corners. Yelagisa with a 5-second speeding penalty. Wow, that is big. That is huge. Yelagisa getting a speeding penalty, and he's going to drop back massively. Yaham through the final corner. Has he done enough? He's using his battery. I don't think he's done enough though. Oh, he's going to be close to Yelagisa. Oh, and he's going to get out just ahead of the Williams. He's around the outside of Dan, and he's got it done on the warmer compounder tyre. Yaham through and up into the net race lead. What a call to go for the undercut there for Yaham. And he's through and he's into the net race lead. Charlie on the back of Yelagisa, who's on the back of Dan. And because those tyres take around about 2/3 of the lap to heat up, it's meant that Yaham's already broken DRS to Dan. So it's all looking good for the McLaren of Yaham right now. He is in the race lead and pulling away. As we got Powdy into the pits as well. Now we're going to see if Yaham has the pace to keep pulling away from Dan, or if Dan actually has the raw pace to close back in on Yaham. Lap 18 of 29. It is Yaham leading the way ahead of Dan in second place. Yelagisa in third, with Charlie in fourth. .7 the gap between Dan and Yaham. Middle sectors where we saw Dan completely pull away from Yelagisa. So we're going to see if we can do the same, but this time closing in on Yaham. And you can see he does close in quite a bit there. Did use a little dash of ERS, and he's going to use a little bit more to try and pull away from Yelagisa. Tell you what, Dan is closing in. He's not going to have DRS this time around, but another lap like that and he definitely will have DRS the next time around. As Dan sets the new fastest lap, and doesn't look like Charlie's interested in trying to use his ERS to try and catch up with these two. It looks like he's happy right now, just sticking within that DRS now. Let these guys use their battery to close up on Yaham. Now through the middle sector once again. This is where Dan has been fantastic. As he is closing in marginally. Good exit out of turn 10. It's going to gain him a bit of time, but he's not going to be closing in on Yaham anytime soon. Dan uses a little bit of VRS to try and close in a little bit. He's just over a tenth outside the DRS. And Yellow Gleason and Charlie beginning to use a bit of their battery now to try and keep with Dan. .1 the gap between Yaham and Dan, lap 20 of 29. Here's the McLaren of Yaham currently leading the way, Dan in second place. And as it currently stands, Dan is doing enough to seal second in the Drivers' Championship, as he's just tipped within 1 second right there, but just creeping out of it once again. Good exit out of turn 10, and he is in there, and he is in there now. So Dan doing everything right to get within DRS range of Yaham, and now he can just kind of save a little bit of his battery, draw closer to the McLaren, and when the time's right, go for it. But he has to be careful because Yellow Gleason using his battery in behind the close up. Tell you what, the run that Yellow Gleason's getting out of turns 2 is remarkable. Like turns 2 and 3, the run that Yellow Gleason's getting is fantastic. Tell you what though, Powdy 6 seconds back from Charlie. When these guys begin to battle, and they will begin to battle at some point, it's going to bring Powdy into play. Because Yellow Gleason has that 5-second time penalty. Powdy's going to be brought into play here with regards to Yellow Gleason. As he goes down to the inside of Yaham. Yaham's going to outbrake the Alfa Romeo. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. No way through there for Dan, but now he's going to look to the inside of turn 4. Back over with Yellow Gleason, so we get a nice view of this. Down the inside, and Dan is through and back into the race lead. As Yellow Gleason goes for a switchback, and now him and Yaham side by side as they go through turn 8 on board with Charlie. See what Charlie can do about this, as Yellow Gleason has to concede that position. And he sent it back down the inside. He's gone too deep out. Switchback from Yaham. Yaham does not get the exit that he would want. Charlie sitting back watching this with a popcorn out, I can assure you of that. As Yaham once again has to sit at the back and look at that rear wing of the Williams of Yellow Gleason. Now here's the question, can Dan pull away? Yellow Gleason's had to use a lot of VRS. The man with the most is this man in 4th place, Charlie. He has 60% ERS to, well, Yellow-Gleason's the next most with 30. And he's having a look now at Dan. And he not using DRS, he's staying behind the Alfa Romeo. Legend and Roy God continuing there battling. I tell you what, Yellow-Gleason not willing to overtake Dan, and that is, it's interesting because I mean, Yellow-Gleason has a 5-second time penalty, so I think he's he knows he's not finishing on the podium here, but I don't understand why he wouldn't want to just go for the easy overtake when it's there. I get it if he had the battle for the overtake, because he doesn't want Proudy to close in, but there was a simple overtake there for Yellow-Gleason, and he's not gone for it. As Charlie having a look on Yaham trying to outbreak and go around the outside of Yellow-Gleason. Charlie there looking for the better exit, and he's got the better exit, and he's got to swoop past Yaham and up into P3 as he's going to outbreak. Oh, very close to the back of Yellow-Gleason there, but oh, Yaham gets a little bit out of shape in behind as we just cut on board with that then. Yaham catching his car, fantastic catch there for Yaham, but now it's interesting. Now Charlie on the back of Yellow-Gleason, and now Dan has his teammate ahead of him in Di Miles, who I believe is in AI. So I believe he left the session very early on. Will he get a bit of DRS off the AI of his teammate? I think he will. Yeah, he's going to get a little bit of DRS from the AI of Di Miles. That's going to help him out here. The Sidegate picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that is not good for his hopes in this race. He is in a bit of no man's land at the moment, but that 3-second brings him a lot closer to Preb than what he would have liked. As we got Legend and Roy Garden. Legend has gone for a half spin, wheel-to-wheel contact there with his teammate, and he's been sent. He is going to rejoin ahead of Elmo, but that gap is not going to be a large gap now. 2.5 seconds the gap between Elmo and Legend. Legend losing 6 seconds to his teammate through that bit of contact. As I think Roygard is slowing down for his teammate. I think. Right, lap 26, we are about to begin. Dan leads the way ahead of Yellow-Gleason in second place. Charlie in third, Yaham in fourth. As Charlie there goes very deep into turn one. I'm not sure what went on there. Charlie closing in on Yellow-Gleason. He needs to get a pass if he wants any hope of getting second in the Drivers' Championship. He needs to overtake Yellow-Gleason and try to get Dan to make a mistake, put him under pressure. Because so far it's been relatively easy for Dan because Yellow-Gleason's not been going for anything. Charlie will be going for moves. He will be trying to get himself ahead. And as we start lap 27, Dan still leads ahead of Yellow-Gleason in second, Charlie in third, Yaham right there in fourth. And again, Yellow-Gleason getting close, not going for the move. Meanwhile, the Alpine battle has resumed with Roy Garden Legend. But if they go any slower, Elmo's going to be in that battle as well, and there'll be a nice little freeway scrap. Yellow-Gleason once again shuts off DRS just as he's about to draw alongside, and that is going to allow Charlie to keep the pressure on, to have a little look wherever he can. Saw him have a peek there down the inside. Yaham is there as well, potentially going to be looking to try and follow Charlie through. Here we go, lap 28, we're on the penultimate lap. Yellow-Gleason around the outside. Charlie unable to get that move done, and again Yellow-Gleason shuts off DRS. Yellow-Gleason right now almost being like a bodyguard for Dan here, and Charlie's not going to be too happy with it, but I mean, it is what it is. But you know, Charlie on the back of Yellow-Gleason once again. We're on the penultimate lap of the race. Even if Charlie does get past Yellow-Gleason here, he needs a big final lap to get past Dan as well. And I think that might just be a little bit out of reach. As here we go now, getting ready to start the final lap of the race. Dan leading the way, but Yellow-Gleason's not been attacking Dan here. He's been more or less like a bodyguard for him. As the flashing lights are on both Yellow-Gleason and Dan's car, and now Dan defends the inside. Yellow-Gleason tries it around the outside, so this is the first bit of attack we've seen from Yellow-Gleason on Dan this race. Tell you what, Charlie has the ERS here. He does have the ERS and an interesting dynamic. Obviously, Powdy, he's not too far off that 5-second time penalty. As here we go now, Charlie using his ERS. Illigison's going to defend to the inside. Oh, and he runs so deep there, and that's not going to be... Charlie's going to be absolutely furious with that. But Dan's going to cross the line, take the win. Illigison will drop down to P4, potentially P5, and he will come home in P5. Powdy gets up in the 4th. Yarham up in 3rd, as it looks like the AIs are having a bit of fun here. Legend now gonna finish ahead or behind his teammate. Legend will finish ahead of Roygard in 7th, Elmo in 8th, Sygate and Preb and Di Miles are not here. So Preb will cross the line ahead of Sygate, but I'm not sure if either of them were in their cars. I know Di Miles wasn't, but that is going to bring an end to Season 9 here in the Masters League. Illigison is the Drivers' Champion and Williams are the Constructors' Champions. I can't believe Dylan's been carried to another Constructors' Championship, guys. I can't believe it. But he has, once again. And it's going to be incredibly interesting to see what Stewart's reports go in. But Dan does take victory and secures 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship. Obviously, Charlie will come home in 3rd in the Drivers' Championships. He's not going to be too happy, but we'll run you through the order one more time. It is Dan who takes victory ahead of Charlie in 2nd. Yarham completes the podium in 3rd place. Powdy comes home in 4th place. What was that gap between them at the end? 2 tenths, 1/10 and a half just over between Powdy and Illigison after that 5-second time penalty is applied. Illigison in 5th, Legend in 6th, 7th for Roygard, Elmo in 8th, Preb in 9th, Sygate in 10th, Di Miles in 11th and Maximum Attack, who failed to complete the race. Di Miles obviously in AI left the session very early on. Sygate and Preb, I'm not too sure if they were in the session at the end. As we got Illigison saying he did not spin with the Welsh flag. You didn't spin with the Welsh flag, but yo, I mean, there's a reason why there's a dragon on the Welsh flag. You're meant to go on the attack, not meant to back off every single time you have an opportunity to go for an overtake. No, fire breathing dragon on the attack. That's how it's meant to go. But he is right, he did not spin. As I said, that brings an end to the season, an end to TML Formula 2, and obviously no announcements yet for Season 10. I believe we'll be waiting for the new game for Season 10 to be underway. Not 100% sure. Possibly could have another season in between it. We'll have to wait and see. But guys, I've been Mike. Hopefully you've enjoyed the racing throughout the course of this season. Congratulations to Illigison for the Drivers' Championship, and to both Illigison and Dylan McGivern for taking home the Constructors' Championships. Until next time, guys, been Mike. I'll catch you next season as we go into season number 10. Goodbye.